Welcome back to Majestic AF. Today I have my fucking co-host with me, Jeffrey Pushman. And before we get started, I would like to thank everyone that reached out for me. I'm feeling a lot better than I was the last couple of days. I found out everything so far that might be wrong with me. I just gotta take it easy, but we continue mission here. We Charlie Mike. Today's guest is an amazing guest. He does a lot for the veteran community, helping them integrate back into civilian life and become comedians. So today, with me and Jeff today is Tugboat Manny. So let's welcome him aboard. So, with everything you do, Manny, can you explain what Project Nine Line is?
Yeah, basically, Patrick Donahue. He served. He was full time vet, and he came back and from overseas, and he was struggling real hard, and you know didn't want to be around people, didn't want nothing to do with anybody, and that the whole story that we always hear from so many people. And he wanted he Project Nine Line he started came up with an idea of Project Nine Line, and as you guys know, the Nine Line, you know,
Yeah.
so he wanted something over here that could be a nine line response for people to reintegrate back into society. So he, just like here, he started talked about it at a table, and then a few other people are involved too. But he's the founder, or the main guy, and it's a it helps veterans reintegrate back into society through the arts, and there's many art programs, and
So it's just not comedy.
it's
It's
not. Yeah, it's guitar, bass guitar, drums. Um, how do you say it? Reiki,
reggae.
Reggae.
Reiki. The
Oh,
you know Ricky, whatever. They have writing classes. They have all this, and one of them happens to be stand-up comedy, which Brian Kutea is a friend of Pat Donahue, and it was his idea to start the comedy program. And what they did is 7 years ago, they all got together, and they were trying to get veterans, such as yourselves, to if they were interested in taking like a 10 week or 7 week comedy class. And when they did that, so before they performed in a showcase, they came to an open mic that I was performing at, and they heard I was a naval reservist, and they asked me if I wanted to perform in the showcase, and I was like, yeah. So I performed in the and I went and performed in the showcase, and I've been part of them ever since. 7 about 7 years now. And that showcase, I showed up to that showcase. I was hungry. I had no gas. My registration was out. I passed by police cars that were just like, I'm like, and I remember eating, they had food there. I had a hero. I wore sweatpants, I didn't like dress up nice. But I said, you know what, I'm going to go out and have fun. And in front of 200 people, I, I was just unbelievable. You could be you could be the richest man in the world by still being the poorest person in the world.
That's 100%
yeah.
true, dude.
Yes.
You know?
Money's not everything.
Yeah.
No.
So, and I remember sitting there, and I was so thankful. And a week later, I performed at the Northport VA hospital, and the founders of Project Nine said, "Hey, people are talking about you. Do you want to be part of the?" They go, "You know what? You are the comedy program." So they had it. They teach a class, every year, and I've been teaching it for the last 4 years. So you know, we as a group,
Were you like excited to take on the comedy
yeah,
thing?
yeah,
It gave you purpose and stuff. Like,
yeah. It's different, like so. Sometimes I think that I learned that my way isn't the only way. So you just have to accept people, and I what I did is I let it go. I'm loose like that. If people, what do you want to talk about? I mean, we had all races, all religions, all it doesn't matter. All different, military people and who served, and all different ages. One of the guys is 85 years old, and you're talking a few in their 70s. You know, I'm 48, and these guys they're I'm not saying that I know everything or stuff, but I took everything that I learned in a comedy class that I took 7 years ago at Stand Up University under Peter Bales and Rich Walker and Steve Lazarus, and I took everything that I learned from them, and I do everything that they told me, and I try to implement it in the class.
That's awesome.
And what's pretty cool is the other veterans all talk and stuff, and it's open.
So how many veterans do you have in your class in your section of Project 9?
Oh my gosh! Well, right now this year, but we didn't have a class, so we did it on Zoom.
Yeah.
We did like 33 weeks in a row on Zoom. I was like, we're taking a break this week. I was like, Veterans Day, Happy Veterans Day.
Oh yeah. Veterans Day was yesterday.
Yeah.
Happy Veterans Day to all the vets out there.
Yeah. And so taking a break. We're probably gonna do it once a month. I shoot you an email too. I'll shoot you. All we do is we get on. If someone's got it, you know what it is. I don't. They say comedy program. They say I'm the director of the program. You know what it is. We get together and we're talking.
Yeah, that's
and
a huge
like
thing.
you're just one of the guys.
Yeah.
Like everybody's just together. And there's no leader. There's no.
Exactly. And if we're doing a couple, we just did a Zoom show for the ISA Public Library. They had us there last year as a group, and they brought us back this year, and we performed there, and on Zoom. So, and you have to be clean in libraries and stuff, and so that's kind of the way that I lean with things, But it's a lot of fun. We were in the VFW magazine.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Project 9 Line. If you type in Project 9 Line VFW magazine, I'm sure it'll come up.
Yeah.
And then besides Project 9 Line, we have Veterans Comedy Assault. And I told Mandy in the Wildflowers podcast this year in July, myself and 3 other veterans were going to be flown out to Reno, Nevada, to perform in front of 5,000 people for the 121st VFW National Convention.
Really?
Wow, that's awesome.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it got canceled.
Because of COVID?
I still would have went.
So I mean, come on now.
Do you think this is what you're doing is very therapeutic to these veterans, because it gives somebody to talk to, they can...
Yeah, absolutely. For example, I advocate for mental health, and because I have mental health issues myself. Now I have to understand that people in the group have issues too. So if I send an email out and I don't hear back from you, okay. If I send another one out and don't hear back from you, all right. But if you're not answering me, and then
it's sending you a red flag,
and then I send a text message or stuff. So one veteran I couldn't get in touch with for a long time, and I just didn't know what else to do. So I went to where he lives, and guess what? He's having emotional issues, and I didn't enforce anything. He told me that he's seen a therapist, and he's and I could tell that he was really, really, and I didn't want to push anything. I just said, okay, I just need to make sure you're okay, because I didn't know he was,
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know
It's sometimes hard, definitely, as veterans, all 3 of us deal with mental health issues, and I feel like it's very hard to know what to do when someone else, even though we can relate.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a hard thing to know exactly what that person needs.
Yeah, no, everybody's different. Everybody needs something different from something at some point at some time.
Yep.
Recent events I didn't know what somebody needed, and I didn't know what to do. But I'm here now.
Yeah. So you know what I learned? I've been in a lot of therapy. I've been in groups, and I don't have mental health issues that are combat related because I'm a former naval reservist and I was never called to active duty. Thank God, and God bless everyone that was, and you guys that are active duty. I have so much respect for. But sometimes in therapy, I'll be like, just tough it out, or, you just have to be this way. And I got to pinch myself because that's the wrong approach. Like because I'm having a good day and I can say, you know what? Oh, yeah, well, I did this and I got through that. And you know what? I did. Someone
It might not be that
and
easy. It might be
tomorrow we're going to be a different story, a flip upside down. I'll be like, I'll be clinging on to you. I need help.
Yeah.
That's
That's the thing. Like I think a lot of people don't understand about like depression and stuff. Is like I can have fucking great days. Like I can be killing it for a week straight. Like I'm happy as fuck, and then next thing you know, like I'm depressed, lock myself in my room, hang out with just my dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like and
especially with what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And then
definitely my health thing. I just know like I have to from here on out like be a better mindset and like I know like I put my kind of self in the situation. Like I hate hospitals. I hate doctors. Like it's just my mindset. And I know I neglected things I was told, and I shouldn't have neglected them.
Right.
But now it's like that was an awakening, and I know I have to take this best step forward and focus on now my health in every aspect. Because like for a while I was just focusing on my mental health.
Right.
But now it's like I have to step it up and start focusing on my health in general. Like whatever I have to do, and
in,
I'm gonna do it.
In therapy, I learned that nobody cares for you as much as you need to care for yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's 100% true.
And I was like, wow, but I mean, people we're loved. Yeah. So many people, your friends love you. You know what I mean? Your family loves you. So we're loved. I mean, just on social media, put, hey, it's your birthday. Hundreds of people or 50 people or whatever it is, however,
And like, it was crazy. Like I have like 1,000 messages that I haven't even gotten back to. Like checking on me. And that made me feel like, oh shit, like I'm very important in people's lives. And because like there's some days like I don't feel like I am. Like I feel like no one gives a shit. Like no one cares what will happen to me.
Right.
But then to see how it messed up, like the situation messed up Mandy and Glenn, like my two favorite people, like showed me like shit, like even if them are the only ones, you know what I mean? Like I have to do this for them. I got to be better for them.
Right.
So like it was a very scary situation, but like I'm here still. I'm breathing. Like that's why like, in my mindset, like now it's showing me that like I have to experience the things I want to experience. Life's too short.
Right.
And like I've known this for a long time, but at the same aspect, like I have to, like, I have to do things I want to do. I have to change. Like this doesn't take a day off. Like I have to help as many veterans out as I can.
And that's, I didn't mean to cut you off, but do you guys find that mostly it's veterans helping veterans?
Oh, 100%. I think we're the only ones that help each other.
I'm not saying
one of our first podcasts we talked about, the VA system and how a lot of the people that help you in the VA are not veterans. Right. So when they go there, they don't relate to you. So the best help I've ever been able to find is veterans helping veterans.
Right.
And you guys were talking about like he knows what his issues are and why he gets depressed, or he doesn't know why he gets depressed. Like me, for me, it's always triggers. I have triggers. Like something triggers me, and then I overthink what that trigger was, and then I downward spiral from there until I can pick myself out.
Yeah, I think triggers are very big for me too. But not with like, again, I want to tell people it's not combat related.
Right. Right.
But
mine don't really all just stem from like combat relations. Like there's dates in my head.
Right.
When that date is coming, like then there's like.
Yeah.
It's like doom and gloom until I get up and out of that date, and it takes a while. And then there's other things I deal with, and then dealing with like recently, like loss. I'm not dealing with loss like I used to. Like people would like pass away or something, or somebody would leave your life or whatever the deal is. I'm not dealing with loss anymore. I can't deal with loss because I've dealt with too much loss.
Right.
And now it's just taking its toll, and it's like it's really really, really hurting.
And you all this stuff goes on, and people don't realize you lay there or sit there or you're in bed in the middle of the night and you're literally scared thinking about this. Now, I don't want to, I don't want to say scared where you're. It's just scary.
Yeah.
And people don't not realize it. Like you go in, like I just said, like I could say, oh, you know what? Snap out of it. Do this. Snap it. Do this.
Yeah,
Oh,
brush it
you know
off,
what? You know what?
shit
Like
up.
like I even said earlier, sometimes people need a life changing event
Yeah.
for things to happen, but I want to say that is in a positive way as I can, and it's I'm just glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad to be on here. Listen, you guys were active duty, the real deal. You know what I mean? And if there's anybody watching from my friends or anything, it's just unbelievable. I mean, guys, if you guys my friends or followers are watching, these guys are true, real deal veterans.
I think you are too, man. Like anyone that signed it, like that's the thing is like I think that's
you go
anyone that
there
signed
and
that
you
dotted
raise your
line.
hand and you read that creed and you do what you got to
It
do.
is,
I could have got called up.
Yeah,
I
whether
could've-
you got deployed or not,
Right.
if you went, you can consider yourself a veteran. You did your time, whatever it was, whether it was the reserves, whether you were active duty and you practiced your own ceremony for 4 years, whatever the deal is, you are, you're a veteran.
Oh,
you were there.
I posted the other day for Veterans Day. They said, "What is a veteran?" And it's like anyone that's not just basically just what you said. And I said in that, and I didn't want. I wanted to say the truth because I said throughout my life, people have said, "You know what? Manny's not a veteran. He was just a reservist."
But remember, like the people said that about Vietnam vets, man.
Yeah.
Like Vietnam
I
vets
can't
weren't
even
allowed
imagine what
VFWs, dude. Like
I can't even imagine.
I remember my old commander in Red Hook, New York. He couldn't go to certain meetings because they didn't consider VFW didn't consider veterans as veterans of foreign war. So like, you know what I mean? Like that's fucking intense. You know, I think that's crazy that these guys went through hell and back and still were considered veterans in aspects. And most of them didn't sign up, man. They got drafted and came back home and got spit on, like, which is absurd to me that people really think that. Like,
but that was a different time. There wasn't. Everybody really did not want that war at that time.
Yeah,
from what I understand from reading history and stuff like that, and all aspects of it. So you got to look at that too. Like it was a war that did not want to be fought, and then it was forced.
Right.
So.
Well, like I think, like we were asking, I think veterans are the only ones who help veterans in aspects. There's a lot of people that reach out and shout out, but like I feel that veterans alone, like, are the only ones who understand each other.
Yeah.
And are the only ones who can like.
Well, what we share is we all sign that paper and swore in, just like everybody else.
There's just certain things we can relate to, like like nobody knows the stupid crap we ate in the field. Like no one knows.
Yeah.
Like we could just talk about that, laugh about that. The rubber egg that we throw at you that bounces off your face, and then you go back a week later, it's still there because the birds wouldn't eat it. So there's things that we see and we can do, and and then like it's even like the just being like. I don't know, like the showering with people. And stuff.
Yeah. Oh my God, showering.
Like just stupid things that go in the locker room and stuff like that. Because you just
the one dude is like, what? He's like, Manny. He's like, Arias, you looking at my thing? I'm like, dude, no. I'm like, you're wide open with like 20, 30, maybe people in boot camp.
Yeah.
And then there's like you're all in this shower. You got to use one shower because you can't use them all because you
have to clean it.
You got to clean it.
I was the weirdo. Like I would make it very awkward.
Yeah.
And, like I would if you were taking too long in the shower, I'm joining you, bro. Like I gotta get clean. I only have a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Not me. I was just comfortable with myself, so I just moved everybody out of the way. Listen, if you don't want to be touched, get out of here.
Right.
I got things to do.
I would tell you, NTC, my tramp stamp that says Billy worked gold. I'd be showering and like open base, would press the button and it stays on for like a freaking minute.
Yeah.
And there's one guy's in there with me. He's like, "Oh, who's the tramp stamp Billy for? Are you gay?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro." I'm like, "Yeah." He picked up his soap and shit, went to another side. I got the whole bag by myself. I was like, awesome, dude. Well, this is sweet. Better for the
What did you guys use to clean? We used like Perk Plus or something.
Oh, with green, something green.
It was
mean green or something
Something
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
just something
yeah.
they gave you.
Simple green or some shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we had to polish floors and stuff on certain days.
Yeah.
and that's what people don't realize. Like the military, the regiment is good. You got if
dude.
you carry that into daily life.
So for me, like I tell people that all the time. Like before I was in the military, I was sitting in jail,
Right.
and it was for a seatbelt ticket. I know people think I'm lying, but no, it was legit for a
Wow.
seatbelt ticket. It's because I didn't go to court, and they put a warrant out for my arrest to make me go to court.
Right.
And then like everything else was catching up. I ended up having like 98 points on my license. Lost my license for 5 years, but I was involved in so many other things that if my life would have continued and I didn't get arrested on that day,
Right.
I would probably still be in jail to this day. So, like the military basically gave me the structure I needed to move forward.
Structure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
100%. Like, I
Yeah.
wasn't disciplined at all.
I was
thought
disciplined.
I was a cool kid selling weed, helping my buddies sell weed and shit.
I was disciplined. My father taught me like a strong work ethic for a long time, but I always rebelled against it because I just didn't. That's not what I wanted to do, and that's not what I wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to go to concerts. I wanted to do just rebel, and I never got into like drugs or anything like that. Thank God, because if I did, that probably would have been a lot of problems. But like that gave me the structure. So when I came out, it did help me with work ethic and my job and being able to be successful like I have been. Thank God. But yeah, it definitely gave structure. Like I needed that structure and that kick in the butt.
And when we have our moments of like, well, with me, just getting out of bed's the hardest thing in the
Yes,
world.
it is.
People don't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have you gotta do the structure. You don't do everything at once, because sometimes you'll be like I'll do nothing, and then all of a sudden I'll do everything, and then I'm like I won't do nothing. But that's the military is structure. Hours is this.
Yeah.
Whatever hours is this. Boom, boom.
Like
boom.
I broke a lot of things down to like my chow. It's like I knew when the day was gonna end. But like, all right, breakfast chow, we're just waking up.
Yeah.
Lunch chow, it's almost over. Dinner chow, they can't keep us up that late. But then I'm like halfway through, I remember I'm an infantryman. Like they didn't keep me up all night.
Yeah,
but at least we're gonna do something cool. Would be like definitely with my awesome leadership. Like out of sight, out of mind sometimes. Like, the nighttime was like the best time.
Basic training, I was definitely at every chow. But after basic training, all you had to wake up 5 o'clock, go stand that channel light. No, I'll be here till 8. I skipped breakfast chow. I did whatever I wanted.
E4 Mafia.
I skipped breakfast chow every time.
Yeah,
No
I don't blame.
First off, definitely in the field breakfast chow, that shit sucked. That was horrible. Definitely in NCC, I'm telling you, like we would bounce the eggs at the crows, and the crows would eat them.
Wow.
And I'm talking like a bouncy ball that would bounce.
Right.
Remember, they come in the bag, so they boil the bag. And
Yeah.
Then you feed it to us. Like the crows won't even eat it, and I'm pretty sure like they're like the bottom feeders.
Right.
They're not even eating these eggs, dude. So like.
Yeah, the ants are taking it back to help, cover their thing for the rain.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I feel that as a community, that veterans, that I think a lot of people are seeing that we're a strong community now, because we have a lot of veterans coming out. We have guys coming out with clothing lines, freaking showing purpose, like getting back in, and trying to reach out and have veterans see purpose. Because I feel like when you get out, 100%, all your purpose goes away. Like like you had something. Stability to hold on to and be like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, this is my purpose in life. I'm supposed to be protecting this country and stuff. And then like when you get out, like now you don't know what to do. Like you're kind of lost. You're kind of like separated.
That's how it was with the founder of Project Nightline, just like that. And he didn't. And
it's hard, dude. Like it's hard when you, like you said, like not knowing, like when you're getting out of bed, like getting out of bed is the hardest part. Getting out of bed is even harder when you don't have a purpose.
Right.
When you don't know what you're doing that day. Like you wake up and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do?
And then you have all this stuff around you that you have to do, whether it's homework, paperwork, or cleaning the kitchen or your house, and you're so overwhelmed and you just don't do nothing.
Yeah.
That's been me lately. I've been like that for about like 2 weeks. Usually I keep the house nice and clean and do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
Like I know I can tell you right now, I'm ashamed of it, but like the last time I did dishes before yesterday was a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And they just sat there and I was just like I just couldn't do it. I just could not
Right.
get up off my butt to like get stuff done.
Right. And it doesn't get any more realer than that.
Yeah.
And I could say a million stories like that.
Yeah,
I don't know a million, but
and that's the thing is like I'm a huge person that's like when I was going to the VA, they always wanted to put me on like Xanax and stuff like that, like, my anxiety and stuff. And then I just don't want to be a zombie. So like I guarantee some of those medicines that they give you could help. But like I just
the veteran that I saw that I went to his house, he looked like he was, you know, he would look like he was zombified.
Yeah.
Right. Because he's got so much going on in his life. And he's on all this, you know, and I'm just like, but he's being helped. He told me, he goes, I got all your messages. I got all your voice. I got all your text messages. I got your emails. I'm not mad at him.
No.
Yeah.
It could be me.
You know, medication
Tomorrow.
though is not the answer for everybody either. Because I mean, I've been on medication, and I've been on a lot of different medications, and none of them ever bring me up to like 75%. They always keep me at like 40%. So when I'm already at 40%, it's easier for me to just jump down. So I bounce between that 40, and that really messes with my head and makes bad thoughts, very bad thoughts. So I can't do medication. And like I've had people this past year telling me, oh, you need to get on medication. And, you know, people that are close to me that I care about telling me, you need to get on medication. You know, you need to do it for me. And I'm like, I don't think you understand. If I do that for you, I won't be here. I'll be 6 feet under because that's where it brings me.
Right.
So,
and again, it's like someone saying, oh, just snap out of it, or oh, just take a pill, or oh, just do this. And it's not that easy.
No, it's not. It's not. I think one of the worst things is when people like that don't understand depression, don't understand mental health issues, say those things like to someone that's dealing with it.
And that's why we
like,
have to.
Why are you so sad? Like you're killing it.
I mean,
I
used to say that all the time. When I was in the military, I was never really depressed when I was in the military. I was really good for a long time. Never really was dealing with issues or anything like that. But I remember like you know, I'm not gonna say their names, but you know, a couple guys be like, oh, I got high anxiety. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you got anxiety for? Like, dude, just get the fuck up and do something. Now, just this year, I've developed anxiety. Now I know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm like, I never dealt with it. I've never dealt with it. April was the first time. April 22nd was the first time I've ever dealt with anxiety. And that day, I was just like, I had three people. I called them, and they seen what was up, and like. They took the guns out of the house, the ammo. They took knives out of the house. They would not let me leave for 20. Somebody was with me 24/7 because I was just like, I just didn't know how to deal with the anxiety on top of what I have to deal with.
Right.
And it personified everything. And then since then, like I know what it is, so I'm like, okay, this will pass. This will pass, and I just tell myself it'll pass. But
right.
Like I just had an anxiety attack last night.
Right.
At like it started around 8 o'clock, and it didn't subside till almost 10 o'clock.
Right.
And I had to have someone call me. That didn't want to talk to me, but that person, you know, thank God they called me because I was hurting. It was bad.
Right. It's and anxiety. It's like you want to run, you need help. What do I do? What's wrong with me? What's going on?
I've had some bad panic attacks that like I thought like prior to all this medical shit, like I thought I was dying. Like I was like
right.
Telling my friend like down in Tennessee, I was like, yo, you need to run me to the hospital. I think I'm having a heart attack. And then I get there and they just hit me with fucking IV and hook me up with like some anxiety medicine to the IV.
Right.
And then I'm calm, like, wow, I'm embarrassed, like that I thought I was dying, and it was just a panic attack.
Yeah.
But the thing is with panic attacks and anxiety attacks, they take a toll on you. Like, I'm done for the day.
It's like you're running a marathon.
I'm done for the day. I'm gonna be locked in my room, chilling. Like I'm dead to the world after that.
Yeah.
You said you were 46, right?
48. I would love to be 46.
So like I'm 32 and I've been dealing with this for 8 years strong now.
Mm-hmm.
Like how have you dealt with it for so long? Because honestly, I think I just starting now that at this point, I'm just starting to think I'm a ticking time bomb because it's not getting easier every year. Every year it gets harder.
Yeah.
I don't sleep at night. I don't, and I've taken medication to sleep at night, and
Right.
I still get woken up. I can
Right.
still like just pop out of it.
Then
So
they probably giving you strong stuff to
they've
sleep
given,
too.
yeah, I've gotten a lot of stuff.
You don't
Like,
have to say what. Yeah,
yeah.
it's all right.
Um,
But
so like for me, like how are you managing to go that long? Because like I literally think it's just a matter of time before it's just like I can't do it anymore. Like that's
right,
how I feel about myself because it's like I
right.
said, it's getting harder. And if it was getting easier, I wouldn't be saying that. You know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I carry like this imaginary toolbox around that I have.
Yeah.
Like carpenters have a toolbox, and I have an imaginary toolbox. I've been in therapy so much since 28. I started taking medicine, so 20 years I've been on medicine and in therapy. But I've had anxiety and depression before I was 28 years old. It's like when people sneeze and they pull their back and they say, "Oh, I hurt my back today." They didn't hurt their back that day. They hurt their back years earlier, or sometime earlier.
Mhm.
So you're just not gonna fix it that day with a pill or a, so I have this imaginary toolbox that people don't even know unless I talk about it. And people make fun of it. Oh, hell yeah. And you just pull out what you need, little secret. Yeah, that's what I do.
So
And
what are some of your tools in your toolbox?
it depends on situation. Like right now, one of the things that I have a problem with is laying in bed and being scared about like life in general. With what's going on right now, and I'm just like, and I take medication, so that is one of the tools. But I also have this book that I copied all the mental health things that from the different classes that I go to, and like right now I'm thinking like everything. What's uh, those three things? Omniscient. How do you say that word?
I don't know.
There's three. I can't
Is it in
believe.
the military or is it?
No, it's that I learned through therapy. But I'm thinking about that. I have a book
Right.
of all different stuff, stories that I read of all depression, anxiety, whatever it is. So, for one thing, breathing. That's the biggest thing.
What is it? I remember one thing I read up. It was like the 7-4-3 method or
Yeah, or
four
whatever,
seven three method.
or whatever works for you. If you take a breath, breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and then exhale for 4 seconds, or whatever it is. And that lower that I have that written in my phone. Breathe, because I put a pulse ox on my finger, and when I breathe and I take these like inhale, exhale, it's just my heart rate drops, my blood oxygen goes up. Normally it's like 95. It should 98's like perfect,
Yeah,
or
98,
whatever.
99 is perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I smoked 20 years of my life and all that stuff, but when my oxygen goes up to 97, 98, my heart rate goes down under 70 or whatever it is. So that's one thing. Another thing is I say, what good can happen instead of what bad? When you're thinking everything bad.
Yeah, I'm a huge overthinker, so like
Yeah. So
that torments me.
so if you got all these things over here going like this, and you're like, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. What good could happen out of this? What good can happen? And there is, you can't force it. But like, instead of saying, oh man, I'm having a bad day, this and that, or I got all this emotions or anxiety, and whether, but what good can happen? I think I learned that from The Secret too. I bought The Secret. I was listening to that when
The book.
yeah, well, like the audio book, and I was listening to it, and it doesn't train you, but it positive thinking,
Yes.
affirmations. You know, like there's a lot of that in the therapy that I went to, and walking away sometimes.
From
You
like a
know,
stressful situation or just certain things in general.
yeah, well, a stressful situation. You know, something that happens, whether I'm at fault for it or I'm just around it, and I just don't want. I'm just all right. I'll see you later. You know.
Like it was rough. Like my last episode, like I had everything planned out for grilling for vets. I had all the notes and stuff, and
And you know nothing ever really goes as planned, right?
oh no, yeah. Exactly. Always have a contingency plan.
Once you think something's going completely perfectly right,
Yeah.
there's always
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So like I had everything written down in my notes, you know, because I haven't talked to my buddy Archie in a while. But like I started panicking at the end. I kind of cut the episode short. I was like, I gotta get out of this because I'm repeating myself. I got fucking know what I'm doing.
You know what we all need to do, myself included. I went to church. I'm Catholic, and whatever anybody else is okay. And the priest said, he goes, we really need to lighten up. We really, you know. And I was like, and the people that knew me looked at me because they're like, lighten up, you know, like Manny's always lighting up, you know, like just relax.
And like that's definitely a true statement.
Yeah, no, like
but like it's sometimes hard to relax.
Where I'm
No, I like to be that way too. Like, you know, like a stressful situation. Like I don't know, you got like a problem. Like, oh, it's gonna cost me like $5,000 to fix this. I gotta get a lawyer or whatever.
That's hard.
Whatever. We'll just pay the money and we'll just move on. Let's not stress it.
Right.
And just keep going. Like, it's not a big deal. Just go ahead and make it happen and just
Right.
do what you got to do, and just not think about it. You know, until that day comes. So, or I don't know, like I always try to take that light approach and try to like be like that bubbly personality, but a lot of times I find myself faking it though.
Yeah.
Like fake it to make it.
You're right. Well, yeah, but that kind of is true to get through. But you know what else is a tool? Like I've learned to say it's okay not to be okay.
Oh, 100%.
You know, like
a lot of people need to know that.
Yeah, like it's
fine,
okay to
ask for
say, you
help.
know what, I got issues,
Yeah.
or you know what, like, and I go on stage and talk about this. So you know, like I don't say like you know, I stayed in my room for a month, but you know, I mean, but I got, you know, it's okay to not be okay.
Yes.
And just as long as you surround yourself with the people that are understandable. Because when I lived in Florida, I used to call up to my aunt all the time and say, "Oh, I feel this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this." Oh, you're bipolar. Like she's like, nothing's wrong with you. What's wrong with you? Nobody knows what's wrong with you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I was talking to the wrong person the whole time. Even though I love my aunt, she doesn't specialize in psychomed. You know what I mean? Like, matter of fact, she probably could have used it. You know.
my thing is like when people ask like the whole like, why are you so sad? Like, why are you this? It's like, dude, I don't know why I wake up and I'm miserable. Like I don't know why I'm sad.
Right.
I'm just sad, and I feel like it's the mental health issues being brought up and coming to light finally in some aspects, but I also feel like there's people that like use it now as like a popularity crutch.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and like, oh, I have this problem. They really don't have that problem. They're just trying to get the pity parade. They're trying to get the sympathy.
Yeah, I'm sure they're, yeah.
And like, and that breaks my heart because then you're outshining people that like actually have.
Yeah,
depression.
I know somebody like that, and that person really pisses me off because you can tell like that's not what the problem is. You can tell that the problem is a different problem, like 100%. You can tell like it's a different a whole different problem, and then they just like, oh, I'm this, I'm that. Well, no, you're not. Like you're just doing this for attention because you think it's cool. Like it's not cool. Like this is real stuff. Like if you really have these problems, then you need to fucking seek some help. But you know, we know you don't have these problems because you're doing X, Y, Z every night. So.
Right.
Yeah. I can't, I hate people that do that. Try to make their problems or your problems their problems, and take try to get like attention from it.
Right.
I can't stand that.
And like my big thing is like I'm a huge overthinker. So like when I'm being manically depressed, or
Me too.
being depressed, it makes it worse because I'm like thinking like, why the heck am I depressed? Like what happened here? And I'm just constantly nonstop thinking of like the situation. So like even if there's like a crazy situation that's going on that's making me depressed, like I already overthought that. Like and it sucks more that when I overthought it and I knew that whatever was gonna happen was gonna happen because I overthought that part of that situation, and then it happens. It just makes me crash more because it's like, oh, I thought that.
Yeah.
Like, I believe you said that when the first podcast. Like it's so true. It's like it's just
Nine times out of 10, I can like read a situation though, and I know how it's going to pan out. So like I do overthink it, but I'll come to one conclusion, and usually I'm right about that conclusion, and it hasn't really never steered me wrong. Like I knew something was going to happen, and it happened like not too long ago, and it sucks because I didn't want it to happen.
That's the hardest.
Another thing I can't stand is when people lie to me, because I can tell when anybody lies to me. I am like a lie detector. I cannot stand that. And then when they lied to me about certain things, or like, hey, I got your back, and I'm like, no, you don't. I know you don't. Like, you've proved it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were telling a story about about the VA. Yeah.
Yes. So
Thank you, Randy.
talk about being depressed. So it was holiday season, which holidays can be really depressing for people. Cheery, but and happy, but people
Like Christmas time,
people don't realize there's people struggling, and especially now.
Yeah.
This year, but I'm not saying it doesn't take away all the other years of people struggling, but so I was laying in bed a couple days before Christmas, moping around, doing nothing, and I get a phone call, and hey, Manny, you want to come perform at the VA hospital in Northport today in like 30 minutes or whatever? And I was like, all right, like it took everything for me to get out of bed and go. When I get there, we're walking into the psychiatric unit. Now I'm like, wow, I was just laying in bed where I would have been all day. Now I'm going to perform. Now everybody goes up and I perform. I go up. I think I closed the show down. I did like 18 minutes, So anyway, but I told them, I remember, I go, hey guys, I said, by the way, my portion of this show is brought to you by Prozac. So it's all So it's all military veterans in there. Now the other comics that were performing were like this. Like, here he goes, he's talking about this. And I go, is anybody in here crazy like me? And they all start cheering. And I got them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I addressed the elephant in the room. It's okay not to be okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So I tell them my jokes to this and that. And even, I'll never forget, even walking out, one of the guys, he's just like, he's like, keep going. He's like, you got something special.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. But, excuse me, I was on stage, and there's a picture of me. I come off stage, or, I come off the front of the room, and the chairs in the psychiatric unit, people don't realize when you go in a psych ward, everything is heavy. The chairs are heavy. People go crazy and flip out and everything. And you don't, like, it's not like a normal furniture.
That you can just grab.
Yeah. No, it's heavy. Yeah.
So, it's, and, you just, but anyway, I got off stage after performing, and the guy handed me a picture of me performing on stage. And it says, to Manny, thanks for helping me get through another day with PTSD. Sergeant, leave his name out. I was like, wow. And I sit down, and it's over now, and he comes over to me, and he's gigantic, and he's crying.
Yeah.
He goes, you don't, like, he goes, I lost 240 something people in my unit. He thought it was his fault. He tried to kill himself 3 times. So here I was in bed, depressed in my own thing. Got an opportunity at the last minute to go to the VA hospital and perform in a psychiatric unit and make somebody else's day. You know what's next to my bed that I look at every day is that picture. You know?
Just to give you a little reminder that you're changing people's lives, man. Like that's
Well, that's what it's about.
like I always say it. Like at the end of this, like whatever happens, as long as I give one person purpose before I die, like
Yeah.
that's what it's about. Like that's what I want. I want to reach out to one person, and have them be like, you know, you helped me. You saved me. You gave me a light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
And like after that, like this, it's all
Yeah.
extra. You know what I mean?
You want to hear how you and I use humor as a toolbox. One of my friends called me up one day and he said, "Manny, my mother's in the hospital. She's dying. My girlfriend's breaking up with me." I told my friends, I said, "Listen, I got to call him. I can't just text him back, you know." So I called him up and he's like, "Oh, my mother." And then he got into my girlfriend. She doesn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I said, "Did you ask her if she paid the light bill?" And he snapped out of it. Sometimes we need something
to get your mind off.
Yeah.
To get you.
And he
the
called
old
me up.
Kansas City Shuffle.
He called me up the next day and he goes, "Dude, I was messed up for 4 days and you snapped me out of it." I'm not Mr. Fix Everything or know everything, and I'll be the first to tell you, but sometimes it takes that one person. Sometimes it's somebody you don't even know.
I love doing jokes like that. Like I had this waiter one time ask me if I wanted a box to go. I was like, no, but I wrestled for you for it.
Yeah.
You know, like
Right.
You know, just cheesy, corny jokes like that. That
Yeah.
sometimes they don't.
Yeah, it's just like I know.
Or just actually, I got a really good one. So
Let's do it.
This doesn't even. I didn't even do this. So one time I was sitting with my friend and we were at the bar. And we were talking. The bartender comes up to her and goes, "Man, you look so familiar." And she goes, "Without even skipping a beat, do you watch porn?" And I'm like, "What?" The bartender was just like, didn't even know what to say. I was like, "That's great. That was the funniest thing I've heard in a long time." And without even skipping a beat, she did this too. It was just like, cool. It was like she was waiting for that to happen one day.
Yeah. She had that right.
Yeah,
right
she had that in the back pocket.
But that, I like that.
And I think laughter and like what you're doing with Project Online is like a huge way to help mental health. I think.
Yeah.
It takes people away from thinking about the sad times and what makes them depressed.
Yeah, and then and then some, it really, and then to make people laugh out of like kind of, because like comedy can be is like they say is truth in pains. So here I am on stage saying I take Prozac, and they're laughing. And there's people in the audience that are on medication that don't want to tell anybody. Yeah. But I'm in front of them, and I have anxiety and depression, and sometimes I'm having an anxiety attack while I'm performing, and they're like, "Oh, you look so calm up there." Oh, really?
Yeah. And that's the thing is like I would have bad anxiety when I was down in Tennessee and stuff, and like my friends would be like, "Oh, like when I started this, they'd be like, I didn't know you had anxiety until like you started talking about it." And like, because most of the time, like around certain people, like they were my crutch, like they were the ones making me normal. Like you know what I mean? Like I felt safe around them. I wasn't going through panic attacks and stuff like that. They were my anchor to keep my feet on the ground. But like at times, dude, like it would just drive me crazy because then like even those anchors would be the reason why I'm getting anxiety.
Right.
Well,
one day
my anchor keep my feet on the ground, and then now they're like not my anchor.
Right.
losing my shit when I'm
I remember like I got a phone call from a family member that said you know, Manny, you got to go to the hospital and find out what's going on with Uncle so and so because Aunt so and so was saying this and I'm like, why do I have like? And I started freaking out, like, you know, because I worked in the medical field, so they're telling me this, and I'm thinking that, and you know, doctors go to med school and they learn the stuff that they learn, and they think they have it. There's like a word for that, you know, like you study something in medicine when you're in med school, and you're like, oh yeah, oh, I think I have that.
Oh well, that's me on Google, dude. Like
You
I
know
swear to
what I
God,
mean?
like if
Like,
I Google anything,
Actually, I got it.
I
So,
definitely
was
have it.
I was on Long Island. I think this was like 2008. I was here for like a day or two, but I had something wrong with my pancreas or my spleen, one or the other. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it got enlarged somehow, like while I was here, like probably from shit that I was eating from over there. So when I came here, I had to go to, I think, what's the Jewish hospital here, by Babylon?
I don't know.
I can't
Is it the
remember.
one I just went to?
Maybe.
What is it? Actually, that's it.
Was it?
Yeah. So this doctor comes over to me, and he's got this iPad thing, and he's on the iPad thing, and he's like, I think you have cancer. I was like, you better look at that fucking thing again, dude.
Whoa.
Like, what are you Googling? I'm looking, he's actually Googling my symptoms. I'm like, dude, go away from me right now.
Oh my
Like,
God.
I left the hospital I was in so much pain, I actually took an ambulance ride there because I could not move.
Right.
I got myself out of that bed and left that hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, I could not believe you just Googled and see that I had cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was he a nurse or?
He was a doctor, an actual doctor. Waited for him to come. The nurses helped me. They were giving me IV. They gave me like morphine and stuff to take the pain away. And then they took an MRI or something, and like so your pancreas or spleen, I forget which one it was, supposed to be like 6 centimeters. This thing was 13 centimeters.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Were you drinking?" I was like, "Of course." That's probably why. I'm like, "Whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't have cancer. I'm like, I can leave in this place. What the hell's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't
Yeah.
trust
Well,
any
and some people think you go to the one doctor. You can go to multiple doctors, you know, to get checked out for things. You know, it's okay to get other opinions. Like, you know, like,
That's the thing that happened to me is like I didn't, you know, like I rarely trust the VA's opinions.
Yeah.
So when they told me about my chronic kidney disease and stuff, I was like, I'm gonna go somewhere else.
yeah.
Like,
Well, now
they told me a lot of things back in the day. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So like last year, I was very reluctant to go to the VA. I started losing like feeling in my hands and my feet, and then it just progressively got worse. And I was starting to like, I would drive to work. I work in Westchester, but I live upstate New York.
Right.
So my drive was like anywhere from an hour and a half, and I would get to work and be like, how did I get here? Like I didn't even know how I got there. Or like I would read a tape measure and be like, oh, it's 7 inches, right? And then I'd go to do what I gotta do, and I was like, wait, what was it?
Yeah.
And so I was having like serious problems like that, and I was so reluctant to go there. And I went there, and then they did a bunch of tests, couldn't figure out what's wrong. Finally, they called me back and like, you have a tumor. And I was like, okay. And yeah, I definitely didn't want to go to the doctors then.
Right.
Yeah,
well, that's
'cause
very scary.
Like, yeah, no, I'm cleared now, but
God bless you,
it
buddy.
took about a year to get it cleared because when COVID hit, I was going through radiation. I had started radiation in January, and I had already been through, I believe it was 11 treatments at that time.
Wow.
And they were like, you can't come here. You can't get treated. Like we have patients in here,
right?
And you know, your immune system's weakened, so you can't come. So that I got put on hold till I think I started going in July, June or July, and then when I went back. Thank God it had continued to shrink from the treatments I had, so I had to get I think 6 more treatments, and I was cleared in August. Thank God.
Wow, that's
yeah.
So that must be a nice release, or
it was a nice release, but they also think it was from chemicals that we were exposed to overseas, because I'm not the first one in the unit that has gotten cancer, tumor, or another guy we was deployed with at that time. He has what was it lung cancer? I forget what it was, because we were around this big for a long time. We were around this big thing. I mean,
It was a chemical base.
It was a chemical base and was pumping out green smoke. And I spent 7 months there.
Yeah.
And they make it a sign a whole bunch of crap like, here, you can just do this. But yeah, so they think that's what it's from, and I'm still waiting to hear back from on that if they know what it's from.
Wow. Well, I'm just glad that you're okay.
Yeah, I am.
I'm glad that you're okay, and I'm hanging in there too.
Yeah, that's all that matters, man. Like, and
there's no need to rush anything.
No, you're right. And I think
unless it's an emergency.
Yes. I'm glad Mandy and Glenn rushed me to where I had to go. Like, but I'm 100% glad that I'm here, and I'm gonna continue this mission, and fucking we're gonna change lives, dude. Like, that's all.
Yeah, and you know, like I'm not even worried about the video. I mean, I think it's great that people are watching and you're doing this, but I'm pretending that they're not even here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they are, which maybe this will enlighten one person or a few people, or maybe people to understand some things, you know?
Yeah.
There needs to be, you know, you can't just fix everything in 1 hour.
Yes. I feel like with mental health, it's always put in a back burner in society.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be. It should be brought to light. And like a lot of the messages I've gotten from doing this is people saying like I felt alone.
Yeah, right.
And, like you made me realize that I wasn't alone and stuff. And like
right.
That's like, dude, all right, word. Like, 'cause
yeah.
I was literally doing this just to help myself out. I was
right.
selfish as fuck. Like I was like, I'm doing this to help me out. I don't care who watches it. I'm just gonna
right.
be venting. Then my boy Jeff came on and we started actually seeing like what's.
And you're getting a crowd. Look.
Yeah, we got a crowd.
Yeah, we had.
You got a bunch
coming in and out, and like that's what it's about. Like
I think we've been getting like 5 to 1,000 views right in the first nights. Yeah.
Wow.
Which is awesome. Like I think my last one was almost like 1,500.
I'll share. What I'll do is too, when I go home, I'll share it again, and I'll put down, instead of just sharing it, I'm gonna write down, you know, veterans, and then you know, talked about mental health and veterans, and you know, I'll describe it, and this is really cool. And then the other thing, the only reason why I came is because I knew Mandy was cooking.
Mandy was cooking food. Yep.
I had no idea.
But seeing that we're gonna have to wrap this up soon, I would like to thank you, Manny, for coming here and telling your story, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
This means the world. And thank you for becoming part of the Majestic AF.
Yeah, absolutely.
And party.
Before you end it, since we have 4 more minutes, if someone wants to do comedy or anything with you, how do we get a hold of you or somebody that we need to get a hold of?
Okay, well, if thank you. If you're a veteran out there, or if you any active military or veterans that want to get involved in some sort of art program, not just comedy,
right?
But project9line.org, like project and then the number 9 line.org, and then it explains everything there. And then you can also get in touch with me. Everything is Tugboat Manny.
Okay.
I'm a former deckhand on tugboats for 5 years, and I've been on the water more when I tugboated than I was in the Navy Reserves. So, but yeah, it's just Tugboat Manny, and God forbid you guys got something going on, you guys can always reach out to me. And I mean, I don't know everything, but if you're ever in a situation and need someone to talk to or whatever,
that's what I say all the time. I tell all the viewers, like any of my guests, that you can reach out to.
Yeah,
it's just military though. It's just military and veterans. Like if somebody else wanted to come approach you, like
no, anybody can. Right. You know, I advocate for both the military and the civilian community.
All right.
That was one of the things that, you know, I go on stage and I have anxiety and depression and all these things, and I'm just below bipolar and all this stuff, and I talk about it, and I love it.
David Lane's Colonel just shared the Project 9 thing, so it's in the comments.
Oh, guys. Wow.
Colonel's on top of that, man. He was a great guy.
He's been watching the whole time and commenting.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. That's it.
He shared it. That's it.
He shared your Project 9 line.
That's awesome, David. Thanks, Colonel. So with that being said, My merch will be dropping next weekend from Shushu Monkey Creations.
Nice.
So we'll have a whole bunch of hoodies for sale, some kids' hoodies, and etc. Like stuff like that.
My merch too will be dropping. I got those banana hammocks coming.
Yeah, he's got the hammock coming. So we're figuring everything out. I just wanted to thank you guys for reaching out to me when all the situation was happening. I'm not 100%, but I'll be there. I love you guys. This is Majestic as fuck, and I'll leave you one of these. And darkest nights bring the brightest stars. Peace out, guys. Thank you, Tugboat, again.
Thank you.
See you guys.